Before diving into the next journey of Gru's family, I took some time to rewatch the first Despicable Me. Even though the animation shows its age, the story of a villain yearning for greatness who ultimately finds it in a small family still feels heartwarming. But like most franchises, the depth of the story has diminished over time and through the sequels, and Despicable Me is no exception. However, one thing this franchise has consistently maintained is its entertainment value. People no longer expect to walk out of the theater with profound life lessons. All we need after a long day are scenes like these.
Look up!
Perhaps reviewing a movie has never felt as comfortable and lighthearted as this time, because you probably already know what level of expectation to set. I'll put the Rotten Tomatoes score on the screen so you can consider it before heading to the theater. Critics might give it Rotten Tomatoes, but audiences hand out fresh popcorn for a story that lacks depth but keeps us engaged with hearty laughter. So let's see what trouble Gru and his little family will stir up next, along with the mischievous minions. What's new in this fourth movie compared to the previous ones? After part 3, Gru is now enjoying a simple family life with his wife and kids, and they're celebrating the addition of a new family member, Gru Jr. However, an unexpected event occurs. While on a mission for the Anti-Villain League AVL, our long-nosed agent accidentally makes an enemy of a dangerous individual, putting his family in jeopardy. This forces them to relocate and assume new identities, leading to numerous comical situations. As mentioned above, the story is no longer the strong point of the Despicable Me franchise. With 3 daughters, his wife Lucy, Gru himself, and the adorable Gru Jr., the limited runtime of just an hour and a half bears a heavy burden. To address this, the film sacrifices several plotlines, most notably the one involving Gru's twin brother introduced in part 3. Even with these sacrifices, the development of main characters like Margot, Agnes, and Edith is barely touched upon. The Gru girls have neither grown nor evolved in personality. Edith remains cool, Agnes is still cute, and Margot is stuck in her awkward teenage phase. Margot's subplot of attending a new school, which could have been very engaging, abruptly ends after one scene where she is bullied by her classmates, and there's no further development. Gru doesn't even address the issue. I wonder why they didn't have Margot make friends with Poppy, the mean neighbor girl, creating humorous school situations together, but the writers decided otherwise. Instead, Poppy's storyline takes a completely different turn involving Gru, who already has enough children to worry about and certainly doesn't need another sidekick. As a result, we are likely to forget about Poppy's existence as soon as we leave the theater. In summary, apart from moving houses like a summer vacation, the characters of Despicable Me remain largely unchanged, except for Gru Jr., who strengthens his bond with his gruff father. This can be seen as one of the few highlights of the story, as the writers still remember to emphasize the importance of family ties. If you love the charm of the 3 daughters, the relationship between Gru and Lucy, or the joyful moments, you can rest assured because they are just as they were in the previous movies. They remain the characters that made us adore this franchise. However, if you are expecting anything more, you might have to wait for future movies. Even the main characters had to step aside, making it difficult to find any significant breakthroughs with one-time use villains like Maxime Lemel. When this slick-haired guy shows up, I couldn't help but think of this guy.
Oh yeah!
Goofy yet dangerous, humorous yet thrilling. Vector made me laugh out loud not just because of his orange jumpsuit and funny hair, but also because his kidnapping of Gru's daughters perfectly highlighted Gru's realization of the importance of family. Maxime's storyline follows a similar pattern, pushing our gruff protagonist into a situation where he has to rescue hostages. However, with his limited screen time, unremarkable powers, and cliched plot developments, Maxime's presence is likely to be forgotten by the audience as soon as they leave the theater. And why didn't Maxime turn all the people into bugs? If he had, we might have witnessed an epic battle between the minions and the bugs. Overall, Despicable Me offers a simple story with lessons that easily resonate with a wide audience. However, perhaps I am being greedy, but as someone who has followed Despicable Me since the beginning, I still hope that future content will be more developed. After all, isn't it the nice content that has kept audiences loving this family to this day? That concludes my somewhat critical review. Now, putting all expectations aside, we have to admit that the Minions are still something special. After the Kung Fu Masters in The Rise of Gru, this time we get to see the Fantastic Five Minions. Whether they are stronger than the Fantastic Four is unclear, but they are definitely funnier. While watching, I found myself eagerly awaiting the scenes with these silly heroes, and I hope that if there is a third Minions movie, this hilarious team will be included. Speaking of solo movies, before the release, Illumination teased a multiverse trend video, jokingly planning films until 2089. Of course, this was just a joke, but with these lovable yellow comedians, it's not far-fetched to say the studio could produce as many sequels as they want, especially considering that at the time of writing this review, just a few days after its premiere, the film has already grossed $200 million worldwide, proving the public's love for these adorable creations. Illumination continues to leverage its strength, delivering goofy expressions and silly situations that create a lighthearted, relaxing atmosphere. The humor is naturally embedded and suitable for all ages. The Minions' linguistic chaos and the troubles Gru encounters make the young audience laugh with delight, and I heard quite a few cheers in the theater. In an animation market crowded with big names, this studio has successfully maintained its unique style, disproportionate body drawings, absurdly ridiculous cars and technology, all creating a friendly fantasy world. The style created by the renowned artist Eric Gillen has now become unique, and sometimes just seeing the character designs is enough to make us smile. From an adult perspective, not every joke might land. The cleverness in dialogue and depth of storyline might have faded, but as mentioned, the most excited audience isn't us, but the children enjoying a fantastic weekend night out with their parents, happily munching on popcorn. I've always believed that a work is successful and achieves its goal, and Despicable Me consistently scores perfectly in the eyes of young critics. So these are my thoughts on the latest installment of this billion-dollar franchise. The story is simple, sometimes shallow, but saved by the laughter and the indescribable charm of the characters. The ever-growing lovable Minions are more adorable with each film, and that alone is enough reason to head to the theater. Despicable Me may no longer fit the title of the Moon Thief. The ambition to create a deep narrative has dwindled along with Gru's grand ideas. He has become a devoted father caring for his family, and Illumination has wholeheartedly shifted to pleasing the younger fans. But the success is undeniable. The Minions will soon dominate the box office again because everyone loves to unwind after a long day and treat themselves to some carefree laughter. That's the end of this video. Goodbye and see you in future reviews, and enjoy watching the movie.